Rhythm and Soul Radio. I am Marco Nobles. We are in a different virtual studio this evening, as you can see. Um, it's looking a little different. It's a little different time, a little different space. Still our virtual studio because we're in a new age. So we're in our virtual studio that can be almost anywhere. And thankfully, I continue to have good friends of Rhythm and Soul Radio joining us in the virtual studio. This is a very good friend of Rhythm and Soul Radio. Um, Goes by different, well, one name, but in different forms. So, you know,
Right.
she is. She is, Moon Newbill of Uninterrupted, Moon Newbill of
Mhm.
Mama Moon and the Rump
And
Shakers,
the rump
Moon
shakers. Yep.
Newbill of just Moon Newbill,
Moon
Mama
Newbill.
Moon, Mama Moon,
Right.
and she is about to be everybody's drinking buddy. She has her new single. She has the new single "Drinking Buddies" that is just been released, and we're gonna talk to her about it. Hey, Moon, what's happening?
Hey, Marco. How you
Hey,
doing?
I'm good. I'm good. It's a crazy time, but it's a good time. So
Yes. Yes.
all is
Yes.
well. All is well. Um, so I'm going to start back a little bit because last time we talked, it was you had just released. What did you just release? We were talking about the pandemic, and in the midst of the pandemic. Oh, and I'm trying to think what you had just
Nola.
Nola. That's what it
Nola,
was.
darling. Uh huh.
You had just released Nola Darling, and we talked
Hmm.
about the pandemic and everything around that and transitions that you were going through through the
Hmm.
pandemic and everything, um
Right.
and being and having time and working on music. So since then you one did a show reuniting with Uninterrupted, and it was the
Right.
first time
Right.
you played with them in what, a good five
I
seven
I want
years,
to
right?
say like no. Actually, it was. Let me see. I think about 16 years. I think maybe that was our last time that we performed together. I think.
Really? No, it wasn't that
Maybe.
long ago because
Wasn't
you
that long,
performed
was
with.
it? Oh no, 20. No,
No.
no, no. The last show we did was 20. I want to say 2010. Marco, I don't know.
20, 2010 sounds better. That 2010 sounds
I think
better
it was
because
2010. So it was like
that
10, maybe like 10, 12 years, something
like
like
10,
that.
12 years. That sounds better
Yeah.
because I'm
I'm
sure
getting old. I'm being old.
you perform because you certainly performed with us around that
Right.
time. So
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, there was that. But that was at the Kennedy Center. So
Yes.
that's a big deal to perform
Mm-hmm.
at the Kennedy Center. Um,
Right.
and that became a reunion show of sorts. So talk
Right.
about that because that is kind of still in the pandemic and coming, as we are returning back to being outside, as we say.
Right. It kind of came about very interestingly. The young lady who used to be Uninterrupted's manager in the early days, she is now the curator for a lot of shows at the Kennedy Center. And
Mm,
she reached out to me and was like, "You want to do a gig?" And she wanted me to do the gig with just, Moon Newbill, doing my thing. But my piano player at the time, he wasn't vaccinated, and you had to be vaccinated in order to play at the Kennedy Center. So I said, "So, what do you think about an uninterrupted reunion?" And she was just like, "Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Are you
right.
serious?" I said,
Mhm.
"Yeah." And so I just called the guys and we rehearsed and then we got on stage and just did it. It's like we
Nice.
never missed a beat. It's like we've never been apart. It's been kind of interesting. So yeah, it was just kind of like getting on a bike again and just like, oh, I remember how to do this. Let's go.
Yeah. and and I watched it, online. I watched it, because it's
Hmm.
been available on YouTube, and I think it's still
Right.
available if I'm not
Yes, it's
mistaken.
still available. Hmm. Yeah.
So people could, if you go to the Kennedy Center YouTube, I believe you can see the various
Yeah.
performances with
Hmm.
independent artists because it's almost all independent artists who are doing this
Yes.
series.
Hmm.
I think Russell Taylor did some. You guys and a number of
Mhm.
others did some during this series, so people can catch that. Then you transitioned into Mama Moon and the Rump Shakers, which is more of a blues band.
Exactly. It's a blues
Yeah.
band.
So talk
And
about that.
that okay, so I've been doing blues for a while. Like
Hmm.
for a while. And we were part of one band called Full Power Blues, and we kind of we expanded, we went forward. People started to love Mama Moon, doing what Mama Moon does. But
Hmm.
I was not the leader of that band. I did not act like the leader. I just came to work, did my job, and left. And there became some rifts in the band with the leadership because I was getting most of the attention, and then the pandemic hit. And once the pandemic hit, it was kind of like I had to look at that whole situation and make a decision as to whether or not I wanted to continue doing the blues because I didn't like the way I was being treated um, in that situation. And um, we had a meeting, a Zoom call, and I resigned. I said, I'm not doing this anymore. I said, I resigned from the
Mm.
band. But what I did not count on was the rest of the band members coming with me. I was like,
Yeah.
you resign, we resigning too. And so I said, okay. So I have a lot of blues fans, and I said, I can't just leave them hanging like that. And so Mama Moon and the Rum Shakers was born. We all linked up, got a new guitar player, and we just finished doing what, the Silver Spring Blues Festival. We've done a lot of things lately that's been really, really big, and we're actually recording now too. So I'm very excited about that.
So, because I was going to ask about that, because I saw that you're doing more of the festivals and shows around the DMV area as
Hmm.
Mama Moon and the Rum Shakers, and then
Hmm.
of course you're still doing Moon Newbill
Hmm.
style music, which some would say is quite different than Mama Moon and the Rum Shakers, but in some ways very much the same.
Very much the
Yeah,
same. It's the
yeah.
two sides of the same coin. I think with Mama Moon and the Rump Shakers, it allows me to be a little bit more earthy, more spiritual in the way that I perform and present myself as far as the look and everything. With Moon Newbill, this album that I've been working on, and some of the songs have already been released, will be on that album. It's a concept album. It's about a particular type of woman who's
Mm,
sexy, who's very in tune with who she is, who have not a care in the world, very provocative, intimidating, all of these things. And
mm,
there's plenty of women like that I pulled from, Grace Jones, Betty Davis, Nola Darling, Suge Avery, so it's all of
mm,
these women combined in one. It's about a type of woman, and I am bringing forth that type of energy for this project. So
mm.
I'm really excited about that. And we got a date, almost got a date, as far as when the full project will be presented to the world. I got a month,
Okay.
but I ain't got a date. Like October.
Okay, okay, okay. We had a basic time frame, so that's a good thing. That's a
Yeah.
good thing.
I've been
Yeah.
working on it for quite some time because I just don't feel the need to rush
Yes.
good music. I'm not competing with anyone but myself. So I just kind of take my time, let it marinate. And you'll know it when you hear it because you know that time was put into what we were doing. And I hope everybody really enjoys it. Because I mean, I get to act a whole fool.
So, it seems like the two sides are real. Like you said, it's a couple of different sides of the same person, and
Hmm.
that probably is evidenced in Drinking Buddies, which is the new single,
Yes. Yes.
because blues is storytelling.
Hmm.
You're talking about this new project as a concept album, so there's a story around it. But
Hmm.
so when there is the Moon Newbill project, and you're working on the Mama Moon and the Rum Shakers project, there
Hmm.
I know there's that needed split between the two, but
Absolutely.
it's like it still seems like it's
It's
like
the,
it's kind of linear.
it's it is definitely linear. I think that it is kind of a mirror image of itself. Um, I get to explore certain aspects of myself as a woman in both of these projects. Um, with the Moon Newbill situation, it's like I get to be a sexier version of myself, and I don't really know what that was. I was confused. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this because
Mhm.
I don't try to be that. So my husband was like, well, what does sexy look like to you? It
Mhm.
doesn't have to look like what everybody else is putting out. What does it look like to you? And whatever that looks like and feels like to you, then you present it in that way. And he really gave me the strength to really embrace that, because I'm kind of prudish in a way, except for when I'm on the dance floor. But I might be loud, and I have a loud laugh. I'm full of joy, but I'm definitely a walking contradiction, because it's like people think they know, but they don't know. And so I get to play around with all of these different aspects of my personality through my art. And
Mhm.
that's how I keep the balance of myself as a woman, because I'm able to explore all these different parts instead of just sitting here going stir crazy.
Right, right, right. It's Rhythm and Soul Radio. We're talking with our friend Moon Newbill. She has the new single "Drinking Buddies" that is now available everywhere. So talk about Drinking Buddies. Talk about this song.
Okay, so the song was actually something that I observed. I was literally at a bar in DC, and I noticed these two individuals were talking that were sitting next to me. And it's just like the more shots, the more
Mm,
shots they were taking, the looser they was getting. And I'm hearing the conversation pieces, like they were talking about their families, they were talking about all of these things, but the shots kept coming, the shots kept coming. And I'm looking at her wondering, is she going to choose the side of morality, or is she going to go play in the dungeon? Because she was getting more and more intoxicated. And I don't know how it ended up, but I remember going back to my producer and telling him about that event. And he was like, huh. And so we started formulating some music, and he wanted to take it to the other extreme where she got
yeah.
drunk and left with the guy.
Right,
And
right, right.
I said, but no one ever explores the the morality battle. We're human
Mm,
beings, we're not dead. We have people who are married, people who are in relationships, and when you go out and you have a certain type of energy about yourself, you attract people. And so I
mm,
wanted to do a play on the morality of two people who found themselves attracted to each other because of the alcohol, and
mm,
what decision they were going to make in spite of the alcohol.
mm,
So
mm,
that's what that was
mm,
about.
Okay, okay. And I love the song. We're already playing it. We premiered it at our event, aptly named Rhythms, Bites, and Booze, recently. So it's a great song. And again, back to the musical inspirations, because some of
Mhm.
the music in the song, particularly in the bridge, that is reminiscent of Benedict Six songs, certain things like
Uh-huh.
that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. My
Mm,
producer and I, we have people always ask me about it, because he does most of the music. Like, he does pretty much all of the production,
mhm,
Indigo Rose. And the way we fit together is like we're like, just like the music that I do, we're two sides of the same coin. Um, we're like brother and sister, or literally almost the same person, but in different, genders. He's how some people are like sexy individuals, but they don't. It's not like they look it or anything, or they walk around like trying to be it. They just have this energy about themselves. That's how he
right.
is. Like everything he do, you know it's gonna have some sexy in it. So, And so when we get together, we kind of bounce off of each other with those concepts because it's fun. It's fun being sexy. It's fun talking about those things, and even if it's all make believe, even it's just kind of
Mm,
good to explore those topics and give people that escape, because I always say there's a Nola darling in every woman. There's a sugar Avery
mm,
in every woman,
mm,
and we
mm,
rarely get to explore those things. So musically, I'm like, it's let's explore that a little bit more. It's more unapologetic in your face, but not trashy or vulgar.
right, right,
Yeah.
absolutely. And one the other thing that as you talk about going back and forth between the two sides and the
Hmm.
couple of projects that we'll be hearing because you mentioned this the Moon Newbill project. I think it's
Hmm.
entitled Indigo Rose. You mentioned it. Is that?
Oh no, actually, Indigo Rose is my producer. That's his name.
Oh, got it, got it. Oh, see, that sounded like an album name. See, that's
I know,
okay,
but that's just him.
okay.
You see what I mean?
All right. So so the Moon Newbill project and the Mama
Uh-huh.
Moon and the Rum Shakers project, it does seem like maybe it's a new age Parliament and Funkadelic type of thing when you think about Moon.
And to be on some of the other songs that I've been working on for the Moon New Bill project, I actually did, let me see, one, two, three tunes with Garrett Scheider, son of Gary Scheider of Parliament Funkadelic.
Wow.
Garrett is actually playing on Drinking Buddies. That's what he's playing the guitar on Drinking Buddies. And I have three tunes that I've done with him as well that will be on the album. So I'm very excited about that. Working with him it was an honor. It was an honor.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. See, that was an interesting segue. Didn't even know it was gonna happen, but perfect segue.
Right.
Yeah. So, but it is interesting though, in terms of on an independent music level to because
Mhm,
it may be a way for people to kind of learn history too because you're a music
mhm,
student you know
mhm,
you're classically trained in music and
mhm,
that's a lesson because what was so incredible about what George Clinton built and his legacy is
mhm,
having these different projects where he explored different sides of himself, which is what
mhm.
you're doing really when you
Yes.
have, Moon Newbill and Mama Moon and the Rump Shakers and, being
Mhm,
able to reunite with Uninterrupted and, George Clinton had, Parliament, Funkadelic,
mhm.
Brides of
Yep.
Funkenstein,
Yep.
you
Parlet.
know,
He had a couple of things.
Paulette,
So it's
Bootsy,
yeah.
all of that.
Bootsy. So it's been fun. I've actually really enjoyed it, and when I'm doing it, I don't necessarily think about it in those terms. It's just that I'm a musical person, and so
Mm,
I'm just like to do music, and all of the music that I can do, I try to do, and it doesn't mean that I don't know who I am as an artist. I definitely do. It's just that I have
mm,
different aspects of myself. I am not a one-sided individual, and so I want to explore all of these different things. And if I was to do country music, I wouldn't even look the same. I would change the
mm,
whole thing up, just
mm,
to be able to explore that. It's To me, I think it's freeing. And as an artist and a musician, especially as an artist and a musician, you shouldn't pigeonhole yourself into one thing. And if you're a true artist, you're going to do whatever, wherever, or take you wherever art takes you. You're going to do it. It's like, if
mm,
I can do, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try that. I can't just say I'm a musician because I'm more than that.
right, right,
I'm more than
right.
that.
Absolutely. And it's interesting because um you have these multiple sides and all of this is coming out. Yet just a couple years ago you kind of stepped away from doing music and wasn't and almost stopped doing music entirely.
Yep.
You know,
Yep. I
and
surely
and
did.
now you're back and it's all kind of flowing out of you. So was
Yes.
there anything, you know, the was it like a you turned on the faucet a little bit and then all of a sudden all the water started running out, or was it was it a gradual
Well,
process?
I think I want to say it was a gradual process because I had to stop worrying about not having what I need to complete what I want to complete. For me, I was always waiting on other people to finish something so that I can put
Mhm.
stuff out. And it was like I got to a point of frustration where I just said, you know what? I don't have the support that I need from, majority of, the people. So I'm going to just I got to figure it out on my own. And that's what I started
Mhm.
to do. I started to figure it out on my own. And then my Isha, of course, came into my life. And then, things started to, pick up from there. And I realized that when I went against my own mind, when I went against what I thought was beautiful, sounded good, or anything, when I asked that question, like, is this good enough? It failed. So I
Mm.
stopped asking the question and I started trusting myself. I started trusting my instincts, trusting my timing, trusting the music. And when I started doing that, then things started to come to me. I didn't have to chase it no more. And
Mm.
so the music just started to happen. And I just said, let's
Mm.
go.
Right, right. And and a follow up to that question, again in the transition, I do know because we were also friends, so I know for a while you have a song "Drinking Buddies," and you had stopped drinking. That was part of your
Yes.
transition as you was
Yep.
going through things.
Yep.
So I don't know if drinking buddies is part of you getting back to that, or just an observation on life. You
No,
know.
it's just an observation on life. I have been sober for a year and some months now, and I do not
Oh.
plan on going back to drinking. It's actually been great for me. Definitely a
Mm,
lot. I'm one of those people that don't need a lot of that stuff.
right.
To feel comfortable, loose, or creative. You know what I'm saying? And alcohol played a very big role in um, Moon Moon Newbill not staying on stage. She would get off the stage and start acting crazy. And so I had to, actually take a really good look at myself. And honestly, I'm getting older, and we all do these moments where we have to take a look at ourselves to see some of these things that we tend to go to comfort us or numb us, or whatever we use
Mm.
for an escape. And for me, I realized that I don't need that escape anymore. I'm fine. Like, why do I need that?
Yeah,
And
and
once I
you
got it in
started.
my head, it
Yeah,
was
and it's
done.
interesting because you started that answer with you've been sober for, and I don't think of you as having been sober
A problem, right?
or
Yeah.
having not been sober. You just you just drank as we all do, socially
Right.
being
Mm-hmm.
out, whatever, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what's interesting about your choice is it really became part of a bigger life choice in terms
Absolutely.
of focus, in
Absolutely.
terms of
Mm-hmm.
especially given what we've all been going through over the past couple of years,
Right.
you know,
Right.
being able to kind of look at where we are and
Mm-hmm.
taking different steps to move differently because we're in a different time.
Right. You have to take care of yourself. You have to love yourself enough, and I had to create boundaries for myself, and not just boundaries against other people, but I had to create boundaries, for me, because I'm a boundary crosser. I cross the lines. So I had to, sit and have a conversation with me and go, okay, how is this serving you? And what
Hmm.
happens
Hmm.
when you do this? And then I started to realize, like, I'm telling you, Marco, I used to be able to put a whole bottle of cognac away by myself, like straight
Mm,
on, no
mm,
rocks, no nothing. And was But it for me, it was just like, it's that little whisper. I'm a spiritual person, so I
right.
heard it, and it was like,
Hmm.
it's time for
Hmm.
you to stop this. Stop.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
And I when I hear that, I am obedient. I don't ask no questions. I'm like, I bet. Done.
Right, right, right. And as we're talking about that, the single is "Drinking Buddies." Um, so you can listen to it with a drink, without a drink. Listen to the
With that,
story.
right.
which is most
Hmm.
important. The story is fun. I may listen to it with a drink because that's just me. But
That's
in any
what you do.
that's what I do. Yeah, you
I
know.
don't knock
Uh,
nobody. I don't knock
right.
nobody. I do. I think people should be able to do what it is that they want to do and what they love to do. You know, that was just my personal choice. But I love when people are just themselves and do them. Ain't nobody
Right.
got time for that judgment.
Uh, exactly. 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 The single is Drinking Buddies. It's available everywhere. What is the name of the upcoming album or EP?
Don't
Or
know
no
yet.
name yet? Okay. Okay.
I mean, I've
Okay.
been going back and forth between a couple of names, but don't know yet.
Okay.
Don't know
Okay.
yet.
And maybe that can be a name. Who knows? Um, um, but we do know it's October sometime that it's coming.
Hmm. Yep.
And everybody can follow you online. Tell everybody how they follow you and keep up with everything Moon Newbill.
Okay. Well, I'm on Instagram, of course, on the Moon Newbill Music. I'm on Facebook under Moon Newbill Music. I have a website, moonnewbillmusic.com. I just joined the TikTok, y'all. I'm on the TikTok under Moon Newbill Music. Is that it? I think that's it. I think that's where I'm at.
Okay. Okay. So Moon Newbill music everywhere, pretty much.
Everywhere, yeah.
Moon Newbill music everywhere, and that way everybody can kind of follow Moon Newbill, and you can certainly purchase the current singles, Drinking Buddies, and past singles, Nola Darling, and all the
Mm.
other and
The BP,
previous
yeah.
EPs,
Uh-huh.
yeah, the BP,
Yeah.
the previous
Uh-huh.
and the previous EP that
Yep.
was released
Come
a
through,
couple of
mother.
years
Yeah.
ago, Come Through Mother, and
Yeah.
all of that, all of this stuff, all the things. Get them directly from Moon New Bill because a direct sale is a better sale. So get it direct from Moon New
Facts.
Bill.
Facts.
you know, Moon, we
Oh man.
always appreciate talking to you. Yeah, always
Thank
appreciate.
you.
Gonna have to catch up. I know
We
we
gonna
tried to
have
catch
to.
up. Yeah, tried to catch up last time we were in DC, like last year, but everybody got
And you
busy.
know
So
what? I didn't even see that message that you sent me until like maybe like 3 weeks later. I was like, what? How did I miss this?
so I was trying to make sure to do right. I was like, I can't be in
Man.
town and not say what's up to my friend. Yeah, give
Right,
Calvin,
right.
give Calvin and the kids our best.
I
Definitely
will. I
send our
will.
love. We appreciate you. Again, everybody, the single is Drinking Buddies. We're gonna play it right now. It's right here on Rhythm and Soul Radio.
All right.